This is the Roulette Master, and I just received an amazing email from a guy named Stan, and he says he has an unbelievable new roulette system that you have to try, and this is called the Dual Jackpot Roulette System. And we're going to test this system today against one of the best, and we're going to test it against Moving Corners by Kentucky White. And let's get started. I can't wait to see which one of these systems makes the most money in 15 minutes. And we're going to start with $5 units, and we'll pick 2 corners and then spin. And I got to tell you, a lot of my friends, this is their favorite system. And I've heard from a lot of you on the channel that you really like it as well. Let's see how it does today. And we're going to add another one in here and then spin. And now we have $15 out there. That's a 32 red. We lost again. So once you get to 4, you double the bet. So let's add that in and double and then spin. And the cool thing about this system is that the more that you lose, the better chance you have of winning the next spin. And that's a 9 red. There's a nice win. We're up $25. How about that? So you can pick any 2 that you want. We'll start on opposite sides this time. And let's see what we get here. That's a 2 black. How about that? That's a $35 win. That's why Kentucky White starts with 2 corners instead of more, because if you do hit them, and we'll start with 2 on the top right this time. If you do hit them early, it's a really good payday. And here we go. That's a 00. We definitely lost that one. So let's add our 3rd one in. And again, we can add it wherever we want. Let's add it right here and then spin. Now we're at $15 total bet. 3 corners covered, and here we go. That's a 6 black. We lost that one, so let's add the 4th one in. And remember, when we do that, we double the bet. So now we're at 40, and here we go. Okay, that's a 25 red. Okay, we lost. And when you add the 5th one in, you have to add it in at $10 because the rest of them are already at 10, and then you double the bet. And now we're at 20 numbers. So again, we're increasing the amount we're betting on each time we lose, and that's an 8 black. And that's a nice $80 win. We're up 75 bucks. Let's pick 2 new corners and spin. All right, here we go. That's a 33 black. That's a loss. Let's go ahead and add 1 more and spin. Now we're at 12 numbers. We were at 8, and let's see what we get. That's a 0. We definitely lost that one. So we will go ahead and add a 4th corner in now, and then go ahead and double and spin. Now we're currently at 16 numbers. Here we go. That's a 16 red. And we lost that one, so we're going to add the 5th one in at $10 and then double and spin. All right, here we go. That's a 36 red. And we got the win. So each time we lose, we have more coverage. We're up $90, and let's pick 2. Let's pick 2 right in the center here and then go. And let's see what we get here. That's a 0. So it's good if you hit the zeros when you just have 2 out there, because you don't have a really good chance of hitting that. And then let's go ahead and spin. But when you do hit it, it sure pays off nicely. That's a 22 black. Fantastic. That's a $30 win. We're up $110. And let's pick those 2 right there and spin. We're going to keep moving them around and not keeping them in the same spot. That's a 10 black. We lost that one, so we'll add the 3rd one in and then spin. Now we're at $15 total bet, 12 numbers covered. And that's a 6 black. That's a $15 loss there. We'll add a 4th one in and then double. We don't double till we get to 4. And here we go. That's a 12 red. All right, we got the win, $50 win. We're up $135. So again, this is definitely one of the favorite systems of a lot of my friends, and they're not even roulette players, but when they play, they definitely love this system. And let's go ahead and then we'll add the 3rd one and spin. Let me know down in the comments what your friends like to play. I have friends that like to play craps. There's some that like to play slots. and lots of different stuff. Definitely a lot of blackjack players, a lot of video poker players, and let me know if what your friends like to play. And let me know what you think about video poker. It's definitely a good thing if you like lots of free drinks at those center tables. And that's a $50 win. We're up $160. I played a little bit of video poker while we were in Vegas because the guys we went with just absolutely loved it. And that's a 33 black. And that's a $35 win. We're up $195. That's awesome when you hit the two like that. And I would say one thing about video poker, though, don't start with the bets too high because sometimes it can take a long time to get four of a kind or something big. And let's go ahead and add a third one in. And let me know if you have any secrets to video poker or any other game. And that's a 22 black. I actually had some people in the comments that were thanking Adam, the guy that I met on this last trip, in the Golden Nugget for his sports betting idea. So I think that was cool to see those comments. Okay, that's a loss. Let's add one more in. Remember, the fifth one always goes in at 10 instead of 5 because the rest of them are already at 10 because we had doubled previously. And that's a 16 red. Okay, that's a loss. And so that was at 5. So now we're going to go to 6. And they're at 20. So we have to add this one in at 20. Okay, and then we're going to double up and spin. And here we go. And once you get to 6, it's a good idea to take out the one that hits. So let's go ahead and do that. We're up $150. Let's go ahead and remove that 2, 3, 5, 6 there. And let's try to get another win at this same bet amount with 5 instead of 6. That's a 30 red. And that's a $160 win. And if you were to lose that one, I would go back to 6, and then you can always work your way back down to 5 again. So we're up $310, and let's put the unit size back at 5 again. And here we go. All right, let's see what we get here. That's an 11 black. That's awesome. $35 win. We're up $345. And here we go. Let's see what we get on this one. That is a 36 red. That's a loss, so we'll add our third one in here. And spin. $15 total bet. 12 numbers covered currently. Okay, that's a 31 black. How about that? That was a nice $30 win. We're up $365. Let's add 2 in and spin. I can't wait to get to this new dual jackpot roulette system coming up. I think you're going to really like that one, and I can't wait to test it out and see how much money we make in 15 minutes with that one. That looks really good. So make sure you stick around for that one, the video of the day, and that's a 6 black. Okay, that's a loss. We'll add a fourth one in and then double and spin. All right, here we go. That's an 8 black. That's a nice $50 win. So we're up $390. Let's start with 2 in the center again. We're just going to keep moving them around. That's what we do with moving corners. And here we go. Okay, that's a 33 black. And we lost that one. So let's add a third one in and spin. Again, we don't double till we get to 4. Okay, that's a 2 black. That's a loss. So we'll add one more and then double. That'll get us to 4. Okay, now we have a $40 bet out there and 16 numbers covered. That's a 4 black. And we lost again. So let's add a 5th one in. Let's add it in up here at 10 because the rest are already at 10. Then we double up to 100 and spin. That's a 31 black. That's a nice $80 win. So we're up $405. All right, let's go ahead and start with these 2 right here. And let's see if we can hit one with eight numbers. That'd be awesome. That's a 13 black. And we lost that one. Let's go ahead and add one more in. And then spin. Now we have 12 numbers covered. Each time you lose, you add more numbers, and that's a 9 red. All right, fantastic. So we're up $425. Just cruising along with moving corners, moving them around, and following the progression. And that's a 3 red. Okay, we lost that one. Let's go ahead and add a third one in. And then spin. Here we go. That's a 15 black. Okay, we lost that one. So let's go ahead and add a fourth one in and then double. And let's see. Let's add this one right here. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we get here. 16 numbers covered. That's a 4 black. Okay, we lost that one. So we're going to add in a fifth one now at 10 because the rest are already at 10 and then double. Now we're at a $100 total bet. That's a 21 red. That's a nice $80 win. So we're already up $440. And we're going to play for the full 15 minutes. But remember what Sonny always says about cashing out when you're ahead? This would be a good time to do that. And but we always test them for 15 minutes to see if if there's any ups or downs, anything that you might run into when you're playing it. And but when you're playing in the casino, I would cash out when you're up a good amount. That's a 6 black. That's a loss, so we'll add a fourth one in. And double to 40 and spin. So currently we have 4 of them out there with at 4 each, 16 total numbers. We lost that one, so let's add one more in. Let's see. We'll add this one right here, and oh, that's the fifth one. It has to go in at 10, and then you double. So remember that, because once you've doubled once, you have to add them in where they're all currently at, and that's a 30 red. Okay, we lost that one. So we have 5 now. So we're going to go to 6, and they have 20 each on them. So let's add our 6th one in at 20. And then we're going to double up. And if we win, we're going to take the one off that hits. If we lose, we'll stay at 6. And that's a 1 red. Okay, that's a win. $120 win. We're up $395. So we're going to go ahead and remove the 1, 2, 4, 5. Now we're at a $200 total bet, and we're back to 20 numbers. Oh my goodness, that was so unlucky. So if that happens, what I would do is I would go back to 6, and you can see on these ones we have 40 each. So we need to go to 40. Let's go back to 6 again, and then we're going to double up. Okay, it's a $2,000 bankroll. Let's get a win right here. Okay, that's a 5 red. Okay, that's a $240 win. We're up $435, and at this point, I wouldn't risk taking one more off and going back to 5. I think it's too big of a risk. If we take that off, we're placing a $400 bet. That could take us all the way from up 400 back to even. So let's go ahead and reset. So sometimes you have to think through it and make the decision that's best for your game, and that's why I always say, cash out when you're ahead. Just like those shirts say at theroulettemaster.com that Sonny inspired, the cash out shirts. They say cash out on the front, and on the back they say declare victory over the casino. And couldn't be better words. And let's go ahead and spin. Doesn't mean you have to leave the casino. It's just a good idea to say, you know what, no matter what, I'm going to leave a winner. That's a nice one there. And we're up $455. And you see how fast this makes money. You don't really have to, put everything on the line for just $40 or $50. It's not worth it. Okay, that's a 23 red. That's a nice one there. We're up $490. And we'll start on both sides on this one. And here we go. That's a 25 red. Okay, we lost that one. Let's add one more in. Let's add this one in and spin. And let's see what we get here. Okay, that's a 13 black. Okay, we lost that one. So let's add a fourth one in and then double. Okay, now we're at a $40 total bet. And let's spin. That's a 7 red. And we didn't get it. So we add the fifth one in at 10 because the rest are already at 10. And then we double up to 100 and spin. And each time you lose, you have a better chance of hitting the next one. That's an 8 black. And we lost again. So now these ones are at 20. So we're going to add this one in at 20 and then double. Now we have 6 of them out there, 24 numbers covered. Much better chance of hitting. And that's a 9 red. And we lost. So, and actually I messed up those bets. Let's go ahead and, that should not be like that. What did I do there? There should be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's make sure these are all the same. Okay, so those should be, they were at 40. Let me see what this one's at. And we lost that one. So let's check all these. Okay, so if we have 6, okay, let's check all of them again. They should be at 40. Okay, they are. So now we need to double up. Let's go ahead and spin. And don't be afraid to double check everything if you're not sure. That's a 26 black. Okay, that's a $240 win. We're up 305. So now you have to make the decision of, at this high bet amount, do you want to risk going back to just 5? Or you could try to get one more win with the 6 if you wanted to. We're up 305, and we do have the $2,000 bankroll, so let's give it a shot and see what happens. That's a 14 red. Okay, we got it. So now we're back up $625, but you need to make that decision for yourself when the bets get high if you want to go to that next step or not. So think about that, and hopefully that helps you make your decision when you're in the casino. But remember what Sonny always says about cashing out and declaring victory. Really, really important words. And now it is time for that new roulette system of the day. Let's jump right in and get started and see if it's as amazing as he says it is. And here we go. All right, the time is finally here for the dual jackpot roulette system. Let's place the bets. And here we go. So we're going to have some corner bets here to start. Just like that. And then we're going to have $1 on the 000. It's a $37 total bet. And let's go ahead and spin. And I'll share with you what's different about this one as we have losses. But when we have wins, we're just going to keep collecting $8 per spin. We're up 8. We're going to rebet and spin. And here we go. That's a 22 black. And that's a loss. So if we lose, we're going to go ahead and we're going to double up the bet first. But that's just the first part of this. Let's go ahead and spin at $74 total bet. That's a 20 black. And that's a jackpot. And when you hit jackpots, you don't have to go through the rest of the progression. Because you see we're up $77. So we'll go through everything, but we're going to go back to where we started at $37. Okay, let's put those back up there. And spin. But that's the best thing that can happen is if you hit one of those two jackpot numbers, the 17 and the 20. But we'll go through everything coming up here. That's another $8 win. We're up 85. But we're just going to keep getting wins until we have another loss, and then I'll go through all of that with you. Here we go. That's a 24 black. $8 win. We're up 93. All right, let's keep making profit, and then when we have losses, we'll recover. That's a 1 red. That's definitely a loss. So we're going to double up from 37 to 74 and spin. If we hit a jackpot, we'll reset. If we don't hit a jackpot, I'll share with you what to do next. That's a 30 red. Okay, that's a $16 win. We're up 72. We're going to go ahead and remove that one. Okay, and then we're just going to spin again at $64 total bet. Here we go. That's a 7 red. And we lost. Okay, so if we lose, what we're going to do is we're going to put one back. So we're going to put $10, and we'll use the $5 unit so it looks the same. And then we're going to put that back, and then we're going to double up. So we're going back to the full coverage when we lose with this one. And here we go. That's a 29 black. Okay, that's a $32 win. We're up $40. We're going to remove that one that just hit. Okay, now we're going to spin at 128 total bet. This is the dual jackpot roulette system, and that's a 27 red. And we hit that same one again, didn't we? Okay, so again, if you lose, you check and see where you're at. They're at 20 each. So we add that 20 back in, and then we double up. Okay, let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. That's a 3 red. That's a nice $64 win. We're at minus 24. We're going to go ahead and remove that one. And eventually, you're not going to have one that basically repeats. And let's go ahead and spin. Okay, that's a 24 black. Okay, that's a $104 win. We're back up 80. We're going to restart, and we're going to go back to. Let's just put the bets back out again. It's always good to see how they're laid out. And here we go. Okay, and don't forget your dollar bets on the 000. Okay, we're back to where we started at $37 total bet. And let's make some money now. That's a 26 black. Okay, that's an $8 win. We're up 88. Let's rebet and spend. Okay, that's a 1 red. I think that's a loss. It is, so we're going to double up from 37 to 74 and spend. So after you lose, you double up, but then you take one off. That's an 11 black. Okay, that's a $16 win. We're up 67. Okay, let's remove this one right here that just hit. And let's spin again at $64 total bet with 4 less numbers. That's a 35 black. That's a $26 win. We're up 93. We're going to reset. So let's go back. Let's just put them back out again. It'd be easier to do that since we pulled some off. And here we go. Okay, here we go. There's our $37 bet. And let's see if we can go a little longer without losing this time. We've had a lot of bad hits, but it's okay. We're up. But we lost right away again. It's okay. Well, at least you're going to get to see the recovery process multiple times here. And here we go. Oh my goodness, a 0. But guess what? That's a little loss, but it's only a $2 loss. It's a $1 loss at base level. So if that happens, it's just a hedge bet. So if that happens, all you do is you rebet and spend. So let's go ahead and spin again here. It's always nice when you bet on the zeros and you almost forget about it, and that's a jackpot there. It's a $106 win. Now we're up $160. That's awesome. So, okay, here we go. I'm sure you guys are the same way. You almost forget that you bet on the zeros if you don't bet on zeros a lot. And then it's a nice surprise. And here we go. But some people play zeros all the time, and that's fine. I think it gives you nice coverage. You see, we only lost $1 there with the zeros. It's just a hedge bet. So let's just rebet and spend. We don't do anything different. And that's a 2 black. That's an $8 win. We're up 167. Let's keep going. Let's see how much money we can make with this one. And that's a 34 red. And that is a loss. So we're going to double up. 37 to 74. Then we'll peel one off if it wins. That's a 30 red. $16 win. We're up 146. Let's go ahead and remove that one. Let's see if we can get another win here after we peeled that corner bet off. That's a 0. Hey, we bet on it. It's only gonna, actually, that one was an $8 win because we peeled one off. So it's not always a $1 loss on the zeros. But if you do hit that, it's obviously not what we needed, so we're just going to rebet and spin. But it helped. I mean, it didn't hurt us. It made us $8, so doesn't hurt us there, and that's a 21 red. All right, that's a $26 win. We're back up 180. We're going to go back to where we started. So let's go ahead and place those bets again. See if we can get some more bets, some more wins at base level this time. A lot of times, late seems like since we've started this, we almost just lose right away, which is kind of crazy with this many numbers covered. And that's because we have 28 numbers covered. That's a decent amount. And here we go. All right, that's a jackpot. That's a 17 black. It's a $53 win. Now we're up 233. And those jackpot numbers, the 17 and the 20, can really pay out for you. Especially at high bet amounts, they can be huge. And that's a 19 red. That was at base level there. And we're up 241. So you can only imagine what that would pay if you got up to a really high bet amount. It would pay massively. And that's an 11 black. Okay, that's an $8 win. We're up 249. Let's rebet and spin. That's a 33 black. Okay, we're up 257. Here we go. That's a 22 black. Okay, and let's go ahead and double up because we lost and spin. That's a 19 red. That's a $16 win. We'll pull that off. And temporarily, that'll pull the jackpot off. But let's go ahead and spin again here. That's a 4 black. Okay, that's another loss. Let's go ahead and double up. And remember, we have to add that when that happens, you have to add the other one back in. So they're at 20. We have to add this one back in, and then we double up. So now we'll be at 296 total bet. Let's go ahead and spin. Okay, that's a 2 black. Okay, that's a $64 win. We're up 236, so we're going to remove that one now. And see if we can get one more win here after we pull that corner bet off. And the jackpot numbers are back out there again. And look at that, 20 black. That's a $464 win. Now we're up $700. That is a dual jackpot. My goodness. That is awesome. I love the 17 and the 22. So really like this system so far. And we have to remember to add the jackpots back in. Now we're at 37, and here we go. That's a 28 black. Okay, we lost. We'll double up and spend. And we have 28 numbers covered, so normally you should get a decent amount of wins. That's a 6 black. Okay, that's a win there. So we're going to remove that one. Okay, then we'll try to get one more win here. If we don't win, we'll put the bet back and then double. That's a 33 black. But we got it. So we're back up $705. Let's put the bets back out. And don't ever forget your dollar on the 000. That's helped us a lot today. Even though most of the time you lose $1 or $2. If you pull one off and hit those, you'll win. So that's a win there, $8. We're up $713. And you should get a decent amount of wins at base level with 28 numbers covered. That's a good chunk. And that's a 10 black. Okay, remember there's only 38, so there's only 10 uncovered. We'll double up after that loss and spin. Here we go. You don't have to be afraid of those zeros. It almost hit 0 again there. And that's a $16 win. We'll remove that one. Okay, now let's go ahead and spin it. $64 total bet. And that's a 1. That's not good. So remember, when that happens, when you lose, you have to always go back to where you were before. So We're going to add $10 back in, and then we're going to double back up to 148 and spin. And here we go. That's a 15 black. Okay, that's a $32 win, so we'll remove that one. Okay, and so now only the 20 is the jackpot on this next spin. So here we go. Okay, that's a 24 black. And we got it, $52 win. We're back up 712, and we start back over. And here we go. And those jackpots, the dual jackpots, are awesome. And here we go again, back to base level, $37. And let's see how this one closes out here. It's doing fantastic. And that's an 11 black. It's an $8 win. We're up 720. And let's see how many wins we can get at base level. We haven't got that many wins at base level with 28 numbers covered. And that's a 19 red. That's an $8 win. We're up 728. And that's the only ones down there on the first column. That's a 12 red. There we go. Now we're getting a few wins at base level. We're up 736. Eventually you should with 28 numbers covered. I mean, you have all but 10 of the 38 numbers covered. And that's a 7 red. That's a loss, so let's double up. And spin with the dual jackpot roulette system. And again, the zeros don't hurt you, and you only lose $1 or $2, so you just rebet and spin if that happens. Don't have to change anything else, and here we go. That's a 24 black. That's a $16 win, so let's remove that one. Okay, and temporarily the jackpot on the 20 has gone away, but we still have the jackpot on the 17 out there. Here we go. That's a 14 red. That's a nice one, $26 win. We're up 739, and then we just restart again. Here we go. Okay, we're at $37 total bet, and we're coming down the stretch here. That's an 8 black. Okay, that's a win, and we're right at the 15-minute mark. So after 15 minutes, with the dual jackpot roulette system, we made $747 in profit. And let me know what you guys think down in the comments, as always. And keep sending those systems into roulettemaster.c@gmail.com. And every single day we test them out. And if you're enjoying the content, please like, share, and subscribe so we can keep growing this community of people that really love roulette. And this is the Roulette Master. And have a great day, everybody.